Hello YouTube newsletter subscribers, this is Terrell from Terrell3.com, and today is Thursday, May the 1st, 2014, and as promised in the recent update video, then guess what? A lot of these stories are very much related, and the Benghazi story now is gaining traction, isn't it? But you're not going to see it gain the kind of traction that it should, and this is the reason why, right here. Let me assist you after running the 9/11 investigation. It helped me to see through the smoke screens and stuff. There was a missing link here that just was made available that helps to connect everything together. Okay, so let's start right here. This is what you guys are seeing on the news. And Judicial Watch played a key role in documentation released after the 9/11 attacks that helped put that case together also. So hats off to these guys. And there's a lot of new documents. There's a lot of documents that are not being shared. So if this particular email that was presented does not apply to Benghazi, then what does it apply to? Nobody's answering. Nobody's asking that questions. And you're going to see Congress fudging and not asking the right questions through this because Congress is involved. Their intelligence committees are involved. What they know and what they do not want to get out. And here's the reason why. Well, first of all, when you go and read about the attacks, then like Wiki and stuff like that, then this thing was a terrorist attack right from the beginning. That's the way that it is put here. You don't see anything about a video or the disinformation that was put out by the White House. If you go back to October 1st, 2012, October 1st, 2012, this is a New York Times story. The attack on American mission in Benghazi. This was a terrorist attack. It says it was attacked twice. It all back in 2012, they already knew this was a terrorist attack. That's the way it was presented, October 1st, 2012. So this was already known, but why all the cover-up? The envoy says the killing was a terrorist attack in the White House, September 20th, 2000. That's been the story from the beginning. Is that this was a terrorist attack? That was known. This was coming up before the election. All you guys know that. You see it on the news. I don't want to repeat that. What I do want to show you is how these things connect. Okay, and here's the deal. The CIA. The CIA has everything to do with the Benghazi case. The CIA. Okay, special report. Terrorists affiliated with multiple Al-Qaeda groups involved in Benghazi attack. Multiple Al-Qaeda groups. Al-Qaeda. And it's funny that the White House said Al-Qaeda was on the run. Right? Now, the RINS network does a good job of putting together the evidence of Al-Qaeda and CIA operatives. People working behind the scene. I'm going to put these links down in the description box so you can keyword it and see where everything connects. Because the CIA attacked the facility there. The Benghazi attack was carried out by the CIA using its operatives. And the myths about Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda was created by the CIA. And Richard Clarke, that's what comes out in his book. CIA, the Hamas, these terror groups that are over there, the CIA has infiltrated all of them. And it's playing the game on both sides. It's the illegal war on terror. This is the war that never ends, but the CIA has infiltrated everything. And this attack, more information has to be brought out. We don't know everything yet, but this is an example of the CIA attacking the CIA. Because that was one of the facilities after this main attack. CIA facility was attacked, but this is the CIA. This was to give them cover on the story. This is like the DOD attacking the Pentagon on 9/11 when the DOD carried out the attack. This is the same thing. Many of the handles that you hold onto this story are the same thing as the 9/11 attacks. These people that worked over there that were killed, they were put in harm's way, but everybody wasn't there. Everybody didn't get killed. Some people got killed and some people didn't. And you know who I think got killed? The people that were whistleblowers. People that were going to expose the CIA. There is something else connected to this that was being covered up. So what you're seeing in the news is a cover-up of a cover-up of a cover-up of a cover-up. And that's what is eventually going to be revealed. Problem is, the Intelligence Committee leaders from both houses, majority and minority, they already know all this stuff. They're hiding this fact. They're doing it on purpose because they are working with the CIA, but not from our government, not from our public government, from inside the Council on Foreign Relations. This goes back to Cheney and Rumsfeld. Now you're seeing Rumsfeld and Cheney popping up on Fox News because of appropriations that are being threatened, and that's how they pay their men, the no-bid contracts. That's what defense appropriations does, and it's for our troops, for our troops. No, it's not. It is for these subcontractors, and these subcontractors are the ones that carried out this attack. Now, this Flight 370 case, is the CIA is connected to it too. And the question is going to be, why was the Malaysian Flight 370 not detected by Diego Garcia, the U.S. Naval Base? It's an intelligence base. It monitors all the shipping lanes, all the air lanes. It monitors everything going on in this region. And you're telling me that a 777 jetliner flew right through it and they don't have any information on it? That is impossible. The fact that the intelligence community, particularly those with connections to Diego Garcia, the fact that they have not come out and given us any information at all means they're involved. This jetliner is not going to be found. The shipment was taking off. And this is how everything ties in back over here in the Middle East, because 6 crates were under guard. Our people that were guarding it were killed. And these same terror groups that work for the CIA took the stuff, but they were going to sell it to China, but they couldn't send it directly to China. That's where Malaysia comes in. They were the third party. It was sent to Malaysia, and it was on that 370 flight that was taken over, fly-by-wire, and was landed in Diego Garcia. The people, well, we'll have to see what happened to them, like in the 9/11 attacks. They were killed by the CIA. If they're dead, they may be held somewhere, but likely they were killed by the CIA. And then the plane was refueled and it was flown into the ocean. But nobody can say, the CIA can't come out and give you a report on what happened because they're involved in it. What they were doing is going to be under national security. They were seizing back their drone equipment, the drone technology that was confiscated, that was stolen, that China was trying to get. So China can't say anything because they were about to take the stuff, but the people they were buying it from were working with the CIA. The CIA is the center of all of this. Okay? And what's going on over there in Ukraine is the same thing. Same exact thing. These terror groups that I'm telling you about, these terror groups that are working over here, the CIA is working inside of Syria. They were working inside of Iran. They're working inside of Iran. They're trying to destabilize the entire region, and Russia sees it happening. So they were getting ready to make their move, the CIA and their groups, okay, pushing the Russian leader that they had in Kiev, pushing him out, and the CIA was getting ready to fill the void, the power vacuum. So Putin had to do something. He's a global intelligence community operative, just like people in our CIA. He knows what's going on. He sees the destabilization of the region, and he must take over Ukraine. He has to take over Ukraine. Because if he doesn't, CIA operatives are going to fill in the void, and you're going to see two sides of the illegal war on terror fought in Ukraine, just like it's being fought in the Middle East. CIA is trying to move and push towards Russia, and Russia is pushing back. That's all that it is. That's why you don't see, do you see any shock and awe going on in Ukraine? Like Bush did in Iraq? Do you see it? No. He lines up, Putin lines up he's working from the inside, just like the CIA. And he's good at it. He's an intelligence community operative, just like I was saying. So he pushes them around. He uses his insiders to take over these government buildings, and then he pushes them to a vote. But he would rather them vote to become Russian than to go in and shock and awe the place. Putin's interest is in stabilization of the region. The CIA is destabilizing the region. Okay, so I'm with Putin. And the Ukrainian people, if they want to develop their own resources, they have the same kind of energy resources that Russia has. Pipelines are running through there already. Ukraine can be very powerful if they will side with the Russians. Go with the Russians. You look at the treaty that the Europeans didn't honor, the Americans didn't honor. The Americans and the Europeans are not going to protect you, Ukraine. The Russians will. If you become Russian, who's going to attack you? Then Putin and his counterintelligence people can get inside and start working from inside the CIA. But you have to give them access. The Russians, you need to let them in, because if you don't, you're going to be seeing these terror groups working inside, and they are going to take power. And then it's going to be too late. So, yes, Putin needs to move, and he needs to move quickly. So the people in Ukraine, you need to vote, and you need to allow the Russians to come in. If you do it willingly, you can keep your representation. If you try to keep the Russians out, they're going to kill your leaders and they're going to put Russians in there. So ask yourself at the end of the day where you want to be. You want to let the Russians in. And then, because Russia's lining with China. China's about to be the biggest economy. China and Russia together, nobody can stand against them. Stand with the Chinese and the Russians and the Iranians. Stop talking about the Iranians and their nuclear weapons. They can buy nukes on the black market any time. They haven't attacked anybody in 300 years. That's not the problem. The problem is the CIA and the disinformation and the propaganda and the destabilization of the region. So, Benghazi, all this stuff is tied together. Flight 370, the invasion of what looks like an invasion. It's not an invasion. Putin is trying to do this as orderly as he can, but he must place the power in place to deter the CIA, not the Ukrainian people. They don't even know what's happening. But this is what's happening. This is a global intelligence community thing and a global military industrial complex thing, and the oil resources that are right in the middle, and the way that Putin is going to secure national sovereignty. He's establishing his own sovereignty there in Russia and his own power, and the base is going to be from his oil. And if you want to carry that over the United States, the Keystone Pipeline, I don't have a page up for it, but if you want to take us back to the United States, then there's only two refineries in the United States that were built a long time ago. There's no push for the Americans to be energy independent. They're trying to get the most out of you that they can. We're looking at $4 and $5 gas prices right now, and the Keystone Pipeline the Canadians are trying to send down is to help us become energy independent, right? Wrong. Why is the Obama White House standing against it? Why are they even talking about moving that stuff on rail? We just had an accident. Why? Why are they talking about sending it to Europe? You cannot compete with pipelines that Russia has already established. Anything coming through a pipeline is cheap. Push oil in one side and it comes out the other end. And it's cheap and it's safe. There's no way the Americans can compete with the price of Russian oil. It's impossible. Use the Canadian oil to become energy independent, but that's not what the game plan is. The oil companies don't want to see the price go down. They don't want to see you in the United States have more access to energy. They want to take those and send it. They want to take the resources and use them part of their political agenda. That's what it's all about. And if Americans are going to sit by and allow an illegal alien in the White House to just stop the progress, then we're already living under anarchy right now. We're already living under a fascist regime, and that's what it is. And we need to call it what it is. So more information is going to come out about Benghazi, but it's not just the CIA. The CIA runs the puppet government in the United States. The true government is the shadow government run by the Council on Foreign Relations with support from the Bilderbergs and the Trilateral Commission. That's the real government. These working groups include members of the puppet government. And your senators are corrupt to the core. That's why there's 20 million illegal aliens running around, and there's 4 million foreign nationals coming into the United States every year, more than all the other countries combined, and Americans can't get jobs, and the wages are pushed down, but your senators do not represent you. They represent the open border lobby, and that is just a little piece of what's going on with the Council on Foreign Relations and their global New World Order agenda. Now that's what it's all about right there. That's why there seems to be a disconnect between the people in Congress. They want to pass new immigration laws so they can pass out amnesty. They've already got perfect amnesty, immigration and employment laws. Nobody's enforcing them. This is bad policy. Just like Benghazi. Wasn't supposed to be. It's supposed to be because of a videotape and not because of bad policy. But it's bad policy that's the immigration problem. It's not enforcing the laws. You have perfectly good laws already. If Americans can't realize that, then you're stupid and you deserve to be destroyed. Because what this all boils down to is the destruction of America from the inside out by the CIA.